Welcome, everybody. If I could just have a sound check to begin with. That this new spray is phenomenal. Phenomenal thus far. Getting some great feedback as well. Cross your fingers, September. And then all those people who said, well, what if I can't sage the house? Well, guess what? We have an alternative. Anyway, welcome, everybody. I'm just waiting for a sound check. If somebody could just say yes, sounds okay. There's normally a 30 seconds delay on here. Sound. Thanks, Brendan. Thanks for joining us today, Brendan. Very kind. Thank you, everybody, for being here. A beautiful day today. Done some great meditation. Just worked on some fluoride, beautiful fluoride, and worked on some moldavites. Did some beautiful meditation work with, Tiger's Eye. That was interesting. So, yeah, great. Today, we're not talking about crystals. Today, we're going to talk about the life of a healer, really, the journey of a healer. And it's an interesting topic, one which I've been asked to talk about. Pure Energy Healing Academy have received many messages this past week. People are wanting to know what happens when you become a healer. You know, I guess it's a great question, really, and something that we should talk about today. First of all, if you don't know who I am, my name's Mark Bajerski, Bajerski. The J is pronounced Y, Bajerski. See, my dad's happy now. Everybody's okay. I couldn't care less what you call me. My last name, it's just a name, and they're for tombstones, baby. That's what they are. But the person that I am is the energy that I admit to everybody out there. So I hope you can feel my truth. And the reason why I'm doing this, which is purely out of love and kindness, I've been doing this now. You can't fake that. You might be able to fake it for a week if you're lucky, but you can't fake it for 2 decades. You just can't fake it. You are who you are, and you'll soon be known. So, truth be told, this was all by accident for me. I wrote a book called Diary of an Accidental Psychic. If you've never read it, it's quite an interesting, very small book. Doesn't take long. You can read it in a day. But there's a lot of things in there that might make you realize what it means to be a healer and along that journey, and some of the sacrifices that we make. A few people have asked how much money do you charge for a healing session. If you've asked that question before you've become a healer, don't bother. Simply just don't bother. Don't even look at becoming a healer at all, okay? Because that's not what it's about at all. Although we do get mocked and ridiculed for charging as a healer, which is very interesting, really. But if your main focus is on how much you can earn from being a healer, don't bother. There's so many reasons why I could say don't bother, but you're going to struggle to make a living to begin with anyway. It's going to be a challenge to start, unless you're super lucky and you're super powerful. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't really understand any of it. For me, I had to work hard to become a healer, and I had 2 jobs. One was to work in a shop, and the other one is to become a healer. So I worked my way up to becoming a healer. So on the scales, so here's where I'm making my money, right? Here's where I'm not making my money. So I'm making money, and this is the healer, and this is the worker in the shop. And all of a sudden, it tipped to the point where I could leave my job and start working as a healer. I think that's a beautiful balance, but that's just, for me, working in a shop was just a side thing. Healing was everything. So that's an interesting subject in itself. So when you become a healer, what happens? I mean, that's kind of the question that's been asked here. I've written it down. There's highs and lows of when you decide to commit to become a healer and start to work in that energy and that frequency. It doesn't kind of start and stop, even though I really do my best to try and share my guidance as a full-time healer and a guide to say you need to find your balance. So you need to live an earthly life, eat, drink, sleep, work, and have fun, enjoy yourself, and then switch back onto a healer and then do your healing work, which is, it's not really about eating, drinking, sleeping, working. It's more about understanding, experiencing, and internal healing as well as external healing, and helping people along their journey too, and experiencing, learning so much from your clients. Phenomenal. Some of the upsides of becoming a healer, and there's so many of them, is that you can literally spend a full day just walking around and experiencing the signs. And the signs are incredible when they start coming to you. I literally can tell you hundreds of signs that happened to me when I became a full-time healer. The signs are normally a kind of wink from the spirit world to say you're on the right direction. Whether you believe that or not, it doesn't matter. But for me, I'm normally what happens when you become a healer, you start writing things down because it's all too much. You can't intake the amount of magic and experiences that start to occur when you're on the right path. So I could be sitting down with my little book and writing some thoughts about the healing session that I just had and what I was experiencing from it. And somebody would just walk up from nowhere and just do this and then walk off. I'm like, what the hell did you, what happened there? And I'd have friends with me as well and say, what just happened there? Like, I have no idea. And then they just walk off. And then times where I'd do my healing sessions that day, and I'd go out and I'd sit down somewhere and maybe order a little bit of tapas and a drink and go to pay. And then the barman would say, it's been paid for. And I'd say, by who? That person in the corner. And I'd look and I didn't know who they were. And I'd smile and they'd go like that. Like, and should I go up to them? Shouldn't I go up to them? And I just embarrassed and walk off. But it was also really beautiful. Then the other signs are when you actually meet somebody face to face with something that you've just previously gone through. So your experience as a healer, after you've healed somebody, let's say with, tinnitus, and then you'll meet somebody the same day or the following day, and that person will say, I've had tinnitus for all my life. And it's like, wow. And then you realize that spirit is winking again, bringing people to you. And, of course you don't say, I can heal you, but you say, and then they'll just come out and say it. And would you be able to give me a healing session? I'll say, look, I don't promise any miracles, but I do promise my best. I'll just do my best. And just on a side note, everybody, please be aware of this. And this is the truth. Anything I tell you, you can verify. Anything you can verify. Okay. So you can verify it with my ex-wife. She'll tell you the truth. She ain't got nothing to lose. She'll tell you what I went through. She was in the shop downstairs, and there's also another lady who took over the shop, and she was actually a client. So she must have really enjoyed the healing session that she wanted to buy the shop and wanted to work downstairs. And she said, the only reason why I'm buying the shop is because I want you still upstairs. So, and she can verify this too. I would never take a single penny off anybody. And they wanted to pay, like, don't you want the money now? And no money at all. Only unless you're happy with the session. Otherwise, where do I pay? Well, if you're happy with the session, you walk down the stairs and the desk is to the left, or you walk straight out of the door, and no, and that's fine, whatever you feel. Right. So that when somebody, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, guys, but I often wonder why people take money off you first of all. This is why I have a struggle with people online who claim to be able to make you a millionaire. But first of all, I want the 10 grand. And I say, well, hang on a minute. If you're so confident that it's going to work, why do you need the 10 grand off me? Why don't I work with you? And then so soon as I make that money, I'll give you the 10 grand. You know, I know it's stupid, but that's the way I think. And that's why I struggle to deal with people online who claim all these amazing things. And yet, oh, by the way, you need to pay me now. You know, so that was me as a healer. I get it. Don't get me wrong, because you could easily say, well, I'm not paying you for the Pure Energy Healing Academy then. And I'm just saying the way my mind works. I understand why people, they have to make a living. I get it. But I'm just telling you how I used to behave when I was a healer. That's all. Things do change, and you realize you've got staff to pay. You've got so many things online that you have to keep paying for every month. So I get it. I'm not telling you to go to people and say, I want it free and then I'll pay you after, because that normally is ridiculous. But for me, it would sound ridiculous, me saying you don't owe me anything till after, and then only afterwards, if you feel that what I gave you was worth the money, then you're most welcome to pay downstairs with Bianca. So the exciting things, going back to the exciting things, knowing yourself, starting to know yourself. You're no longer an eater, drinker, sleeper, and worker. You're now on another frequency, another level. And that level is knowing thyself. And now you're on a journey to heal yourself, because most healers actually become healers to heal themselves. They may say that they're becoming a healer to heal others, which is partly true. But I do believe that we really become a healer to heal ourselves. I mean, I had so much suffering. I mean, loss of a mum at 12 years old, having to look after myself and cook for my dad and everybody else. And, you know, just be like totally, you know, working at the age of 12 years old, bringing money home and still going to school. So my dad being abusive and angry, having to deal with that every day, being beaten most days by an angry man who hated his job, so he took it out on everybody else. He wasn't angry at me, he was just angry at his life. But it's hard to see that when you're not a healer. So these little things that when you become a healer, you start, that's why he did that. Oh, that's why. And then you realize, oh, it wasn't me. I didn't make him feel like that. It wasn't me. It wasn't really my footsteps on the soil that he was angry with. He was just angry. So you learn to heal yourself from, you know, oh, she left me. Oh, she left me because I was a pain in the ass. Damn right, I understand that now, but I didn't before. And oh, it's all me. Why me? And then you heal from your past relationship because nothing personal, and so on. Oh, that person did that to me. Oh, why did they do that? Oh, let's look at it. Oh, yeah, you look at yourself. So you see yourself, and then you realize, when you realize that you're a bit of a plonker, or you're a bit of an emotional baggage, or whatever it is, you start to see these things, and then once you heal them in yourself, you see in others, so you can heal your relationship with others because you healed yourself. You can never heal when you say, all right, I forgive you, I forget. You don't forgive them. You're only just saying it, but deep down it's still torn and hurts. But if you all of a sudden have this new awakening reality to life, that, oh my God, now I see why I was like that. Now I see why people were like that with me. Now you can put that onto the people that will like that to you. So heal yourself, heal others. And what I mean by healing others, that the suffering that you had with others, you no longer have, because you get it now. And that's a beautiful thing, to have nobody to hate. And hate is indeed a thing that most people carry around. If I said to you, think about somebody that you hate, I guarantee you, if you're not a healer, you can say, oh, I hate that person. I hate that person. I hate my friend who did this to me. I hate that person I hate that, my ex-husband. I hate my ex-wife. I hate my dad. I hate my mum. I hate my sister. I hate my brother. I hate my best friend. I hate this person. I hate that person. Right? Because you haven't resolved any issue at all within yourself. And until you resolve the issues within yourself, meaning look at yourself in the mirror and realize that the things that you did that caused pain and suffering, then once you see that, you can see it in others. And if you can forgive yourself, then surely you have to forgive somebody else, or else you haven't healed anything. You've only learned a fraction. So you have to heal. You have to forgive other people. If you're forgiving yourself, why is it so easy to forgive yourself but not others? So you should use the same energy, as we are all equal in that sense. I'm not talking about monsters here. I'm not talking about those that feed from you. That's a different topic. I'm just talking about generally. So the exciting things that happen to you, well, healing takes place, and healing on a level of physical is phenomenal. So for me, my irritable bowel syndrome, which was from about 8 years old right the way till I was 38, from 38, I became a healer and started learning to heal. And within a space of 2 years, my irritable bowel syndrome was gone, which means that the doctors were wrong. They say that you can't get rid of irritable bowel syndrome. Well, hello. Okay, so, and my irritable bowel syndrome was so bad. They said in my documents in Huddersfield that it was severe. And I used to have injections up my backside because of the pain. I'd basically start sweating and I'd rip my clothes off, and it didn't even matter what, I'd rip them all off and I'd be just screaming. I wanted to die. That's how bad it was. And that is no exaggeration. It frightens me to this day. It frightens me to this day what that pain was. It was horrific. It was, I guess it was like an abscess. So that's that. That's beautiful. My anger calmed right down when I was a healer, calmed right down. My knee-jerk reactions straight down. So like things wouldn't bother me. That's a miracle. That is something phenomenal. So when I was a full-time healer, it was like nothing bothered me, but yet I was sensitive to everything. Now go figure. It's pretty cool, eh? Being sensitive to everything, but nothing's bothering me is a pretty powerful statement. The other things, you look younger, you feel happy, you feel inner peace, you feel a connection to your family and spirit. You learn to connect to your family and spirit. You learn to understand that there is far more to life than eating, drinking, sleeping, and working. And then you start to connect to, let's say, other worlds that give you information that fill in the blanks that you may have as a healer. So you might be sat under a tree after 2 or 3 healing sessions trying to understand what just happened in that miracle of your client feeling incredible and what you went through and why you did it. And answers just pour in. And it's almost like you write it down. It's channeling, which means that when you become a healer, you become a channel. Not only channel for writing, but for thoughts, channeling for healing that comes through you, which is a new energy, which as you heal other people, you're healing yourself instantly because it comes through you to your client. So you're receiving healing constantly. And somebody once asked me, can you do too much? Could you have too much energy going through you, too much healing? No, not at all. It could be endless. You can just sit there and allow that energy to run through you. And it's just like having a shower in love, in the most beautiful healing energy that can't be described because there are no words for it. All the insecurities that you had prior disappear when you become a healer, a full-time healer. Your insecurities disappear. And I noticed that things didn't matter as much. So I didn't need the fancy house, the fancy car, the holidays, because the only thing that was important was healing people. And it was like a holiday in itself. A 1-hour healing session to me was like having a holiday for a week. So I was getting so much from it. It was beautiful. And the excitement of the little things happening, the little things that would scare other people didn't scare me. So if you ask Susie, we were in bed one night when I'd first started, and I remember coming home saying the lights did it again. All the street lights came on and off as I walked past them. And I just used to smile and wonder what that was, but I thought it was fascinating. And we went to sleep. And on a side note, that when you do pure energy healing, I don't know if it happens to you guys, if any of you are healers, but sometimes the energy runs through you from a night. So sometimes you'll twitch all night, twitch so much that your partner can't sleep. It's a difficult one. Can't explain, but a lot of energy running through. And so all of a sudden, I don't know if it was me. I think it might have been me who jumped out of bed and said, "What's that?" And then Susie jumped out of bed and said, "What's that? What is it?" And then all of a sudden, the side table, the shabby chic side table, moved across the room. So our little bedside table actually moved across the room and then stopped. And we looked at each other and we just looked at each other and fell back to sleep. There was no fear, no worries. And to this day, I'm unsure whether it was spirit or whether it was the energy that was running through me. I truly believe that if we can awaken energy within us, that we can move mountains. And I just think that maybe that was the energy that was running through me, because I'd done a lot of healing sessions that day and evening. So little strange things happen. And if you wear crystals, they disappear a lot more. It's strange, but it happens, especially with Moldavite. Other things, synchronicities where you can't explain that what you've just done that day has now appeared in front of you in so many ways. It could be in a book. It could be somebody talking next to you. It's almost like you're getting confirmations all day long that you're on the right path, and that the path that I talk about is not a path per se. It's not walking a path. It's a new energy that you're in, a frequency, which is called the flow, which is called healing energy. So you're getting all of these confirmations all day long. You're drawn to beautiful souls. You're a magnet for people that need your help. And I came to understand that the spirit world is extremely clever. And if you truly believe that our life is kind of mapped out for us, I kind of think to myself, when people say, I've just met you and I don't know how it happened, I just walked upstairs and saw the sign and I knew I had to come up these stairs, I would say, this has happened so many times in my life. Therefore, what does that mean? It means that you've been guided, you've been brought to somewhere. And I'm not saying it out of ego, because that could happen anywhere. But the fact that you're here shows that there was some divine intervention somewhere. So when the client is lying down and I'm giving them a healing session, and all of a sudden I see in my mind's eye, my third eye, my pineal, whatever it is, the intuition that I feel, that there's a man here and he's got a briefcase and he's got a walking stick and he's got a bowler hat. And funnily enough, it's I don't know why, but his shoes are really polished. And after the healing session, when I might mention it to the lady, she'll start crying and say, "That's my granddad. And he used to wear everything that you just said is exactly my granddad." So then when you put the pieces together and you think, okay, so the granddad was here. He brought his granddaughter to have a healing session for a reading and just to give a message to say, "I'm here." And maybe she goes and sits down and reconnects with her granddad by the energy that I speak about, which is the path that I'm on, which you give that same energy to a client. And now they're on that path. Might only be for an hour. It might be for a week, a year, and forever. I don't know. But you give them an opportunity to see that there's more to life than eating, drinking, sleeping, and working. It's beautiful. Other good things that happen. You get to travel. I've traveled so many countries. I'd like to buy you a plane ticket. Would you come over and give us healing? I'd like to buy you a plane ticket here. Could you come over and do a workshop? I'd like to buy a plane ticket. Can you come and work here for a while and do this? And so I didn't have much money, but I traveled the world, and it was all paid for by people who wanted me to give healings around the world. And offers are incredible. I turned many offers down. that I didn't feel aligned with me. I turned many offers down that I felt was manipulating, or somebody who tried to, I had companies that asked me to work for them, and I said never. I would never work for anybody again. So if it was ever a corporation, I know you're going to say now you work for the Brugman Group, if anybody knows me, and I did, but that was because they were friends. And I knew it wouldn't be anything like that. It would be just, go when needed, and jump onto the plane and go to wherever it was they were with the horses, because I used to be a horse healer as well. But I also healed the family too, which was, more for me what I really did. I wasn't really a so-called healer of animals, but it doesn't really matter whether it's an animal or a person. They're all the same to me. So that was lovely. Other things which are beautiful, you become more kinder, you become more caring, you become more sensitive to things that are important. You become heightened with knowledge not from books, knowledge from the great universe, the source of life that constantly feeds you amazing information that just will blow you away. Becoming a healer, you connect to the worlds within worlds, and you start to understand that we're not alone, and you start to understand that there are people that need help in other worlds, which I call trapped spirit. And that's beautiful, to help them back home. Other things that are beautiful, to wake up and not have any worry in your mind. I don't know. I couldn't put a price on it. And I've never woke up in the morning and worried about finances ever. Never bothered me at all. They never affected me. Prior to that, I was like a dog chasing his tail, just trying to keep the wolves at bay. And I think they deliberately do that to keep you frozen and to keep you in fear. I don't fear any of that. And as soon as I got rid of fear, then abundance just comes, and your bills are paid, and you don't even think about it. It's not even a thought. So not for me now anyway. It's never for me, but it is for many people. I know it is. So I think when you're on the healing path, I think your priorities change completely, and you steer away from fear, and you go into love. You go into protection and acceptance. You go into trust. These are beautiful things. And the most important thing is to wake up in the morning and be happy for no reason. Being a healer, full-time healer, that was really, apart from being a child when my dad didn't beat me, was the only times that I lived in inner peace and joy and happiness for no reason. So as of late, for me, I don't do healings anymore. So it's not the same. And I am very sensitive to anybody who gets hurt or anybody who may get hurt. And because we've been through this 4 years of me watching people, going through me trying to say, please don't. And then they do. And then now they're sick or dead is a challenge for me. I wish I could be a healer again, but I don't have the strength to do that anymore. And what I see in the world now, the energy that I see in the world, I think it takes somebody very strong and somebody who would have to start again to understand energy, what is happening with people who are jabbed. So that's something that, I did mention on a side note that I did do something that for somebody that I cared for very much, and they're fully well now, happy. I've seen photos of them. They're joyful, doing stuff. Prior to that, they weren't so joyful and they didn't want to be here anymore. I came home and I was sick for 4 days. Even though I cleansed and cleared, I did everything that I would normally do. But the energy and frequency that are around people who are jib-jabbed, I'm afraid, for me, it's something that I would have to learn all over again. And I cannot say wholeheartedly that I know how to clear that. Especially after doing what I did. But at the end of the day, I'm fine now. It took its toll on me. It took a while to heal from that. And I look back that I'd spent 7 years healing myself, and then 2 full days healing took me back to being poorly again. So it's not for me at all. And some people would say, well, why would I be a healer now if you can't even heal? And I say this, well, I'm very different from you guys. I've spent 20 years healing, and literally, I had a heart attack because I was doing so much work. I was exhausted. I didn't realize, I didn't know when to stop. And most healers, you can ask most healers are the same. Most healers don't know when to stop. Oh, okay, I'll just give you a healing. Oh, I'll just give you, okay, I'll just give you a healing session. And I teach in the Pure Energy Healing Academy that you have to learn how to find your balance. You have to learn when to say no. You know, and one of the things in the Pure Energy Healing Academy is, number one, you never heal somebody if you're not well. So you have to be fit and healthy when you heal people. So these are amazing things. Anyway, by the by, we move on, digress. Here's the bad side of becoming a healer. Friends and family, I'm not saying you, but friends and family can distance themselves from you. They can talk behind your back. They can mock. They can ridicule, ostracize. They can cause a lot of pain because they don't like to see change. So they like the old you and they don't like the new you anymore. And it's hard for them. And they may see you as a cheat, a liar, as some of my family did, and a fraud, as some of my family did. Weren't willing to, embrace the fact that I'd worked damn hard with, many shamans, many Wiccan high priestesses. I've worked with spiritual people. I've done a lot of work with a lot of people to learn a lot of things. They're not interested in that. They can give a shit. They're just saying, I know you. You're my brother or my sister, or whatever it is, and you're full of shit. And that's the limited thinking of family and sometimes friends. School friends, that was the biggest one. That was really bad. So there was a group, school friends group, and it was horrific. I was really upset. It was really bad. And you realize that people are just so stuck in their ways and they cannot see. They're blinded. They're like horses they just can't see. They have no opening. They think they're intelligent. They think they're smart. They think they're funny. But really, they're just really, really weak people who just like to mock and ridicule. So you kind of lose a lot of people. And then you look back and you're so glad. This is a side note. I'm so glad I left them behind, because you could never have continued doing what you're doing if you wanted them in your life. So there's something for you to think about. Sometimes it's better to let people go, because then you can really move forward and grow. If you're wanting to please all your family and friends and you want them all to accept who you are, then guess what? You're going to stay exactly where you are. You're not growing at all. So sometimes your path, your journey takes you on a different path to those that were your friends and still can be your friends. But unfortunately, you're on a new path now and they're not on that path. And maybe they might step on that path in 20 years. I remember going to see my friend, and I didn't tell him. I hadn't told him nothing. It's been years since I've saw him. Sat down and started opening, what you doing now, Mark? And I was kind of frightened to tell him because I didn't want to lose another friend. I was just tired. And I explained, I said, I've started doing healing. He says, oh, me too. I've started learning breathing and meditation, and thank God for that. And that was lovely. And then I went to England and met a friend of mine, Vincent, who was one of my best friends at school. And when I met him after ages, and I said, oh, I've become a healer and I work with crystals. And he says, crystals? He went into his pocket and pulled out a load of crystals. Thank God for that. So it was very nice at times when it's not always bad, but it's such a refreshing moment when somebody, doesn't mock and ridicule you. So getting over leaving people behind is challenging, but it's very important. Knowing your truth is something which is so important. So, do you know your truth? But do you really know your truth? When you're confronted by somebody, it might be a family member calling you, saying things, do you really know your truth? You just like, because there's no point arguing. It's just laugh and say, okay, no problem. And you walk away, but you know your truth. So your truth is far more important than what your family or friends have just ridiculed or said about you, because you know your truth. That means that that isn't important anymore. Now, if it is important, then I'd wonder, well, do you really believe in your work? Do you really believe it's your true path? Because when you know it's your true path, nobody will stop you ever. Nobody can stop you, because that's your path. Because your consciousness is higher than any of your brain's weakness that tells you you should or you shouldn't. So that's something to think about. Beautiful things, the flow and the miracles that happen are incredible. But again, if you stay in fear, that will never happen. So these are important factors on your journey. Focus on your journey 100%. This is an absolute. Now, when I say 100%, you're going to obviously let people down, because now you are no longer serving your wife or your children or other people. You're serving your path. Like the Buddha left his family, left everything, and went to find his spiritual path and understanding, because he didn't feel he was being fed. He didn't want to be a king. He wanted to go and find out what life was and who he was. So you can easily say, well, what a plonker, you shouldn't do that. But if you're lucky to be married to somebody who accepts what you're doing and understands, that's an absolute blessing. That's a blessing. And I have to say that with Susie, we were together for 20 years, something like that. And in them 20 years, the years that I became a healer, she totally accepted and she understood. There were times that she got upset, of course, when we were just sat down for dinner and my phone would ring and somebody would call me in LA because the time difference were wrong. And it might be 10, 11 o'clock at night and we were sat eating and I'm saying, I have to go. And she'd say, fine, no problem. And then I'd drive to Tickle Pink, go upstairs, switch my computer on and do a session with, somebody in LA. So that, again, is very hard for family members to adjust to. But that's the calling. That's the calling. So partnership, being with a partner who understands, wow, that's a blessing. I guess one of the negative things is sat with friends and family that you have absolutely nothing in common with anymore. So they're ordering a Coca-Cola with some crisps, and you're now knowing that the Coca-Cola is not good for you, and they're drinking poison and so on. And then they're talking about a football match, or they're drinking, lager, getting drunk. And it's kind of really not that important. And the conversation is, for me, brain dead. Like, we're going to talk about Coronation Street, or guess what happened on Coronation Street last night, and guess what happened on the football match last night. And it's like you've got nothing in common with eaters, drinkers, and sleepers. You've got nothing in common with them anymore. And so you end up having to try and you're battling with trying to be in one world when you're being pulled into another. So that's kind of fairly important. Yeah. Recognizing your faults. And I've mentioned this already. Recognizing your faults is a big thing that can hit you like a ton of bricks. And there's kind of like a mountain you have to climb with that, because you have to really go deep and realize what those faults are and be honest with yourself. But once you've recognized them faults and you accept them and you smile at them and you move forward by letting them faults go and creating a new a new beautiful version of yourself, then that's beautiful. And then the healer recognizes it within others. You can't really talk to somebody who's tried to take their life if you haven't taken your life, because you're just talking. But if you've tried to take your life and somebody's with you and tried to take a life yesterday, then you can fully feel that person and understand what they're going through. Thus, you can help them. So I find that the more pain you've been through, the more of an amazing healer you become. And I've been through some pain. So every day, just so you know, as a healer, doesn't make you more powerful, doesn't make you more of a wonderful person. It doesn't make you a guru or a teacher of teachers, because you can equally go back to being a numpty and doing silly things and being angry and stuff. So being a healer is a constant work. It's constant work. And the more healing sessions you do, the more wonderful you feel and the more you're on that path. I gave up my healing work a while ago because I said I had a heart attack in Bali. It was a silent heart attack, so I wasn't driven anywhere. I worked on myself and healed myself next morning. And that was my sign that says, if you can't learn to say no, which I should have said before, I didn't know we had 23 people there. I thought it was going to be 13 or 14. And then I was surprised to be told, and I'll never forget that. And I was upset about that. And I realized that I can't work with people who are only about the money. So I won't work with people who are only about money at all. Not interested. See you later. Go away. You just go away. Because what's important is doing the job right and giving people the right time. And because there were 23 people on it was a healing journey for them all, and it was very powerful. And I'm not taking anything away from it, but I was exhausted, literally exhausted. And that's when I cut ties with everybody and said, I'm not doing this no more, because you get people put on you all the time as a healer. So you have to learn to say no. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle to say no, because you feel as if you're letting somebody down. But if you don't say no and you don't limit yourself, then and if it's for the sake of money, then time to stop, finish. So there's the beginning of a journey of a healer. And I just wanted to share that with you all. So there's ups and downs of being a healer. So for me, if you do want to learn a healing technique, the pure energy healing technique is fantastic. It's amazing. And you can learn pure energy healing and utilize that healing on yourself, and you can walk a path. But that path, that journey should be definitely a journey that you make a conscious decision what you want to do. So, for instance, 20 years ago, a lady came to Mias Pueblo to learn pure energy healing, and I was blown away by a healing gift. It was incredible. And the healing gift isn't because she's powerful. It's just that she learned to close her mind and move it aside and allow the energy to flow through, it was pure. It was incredible. Most of us block it by thoughts and worries and fears and what ifs and what should I be doing now? And she didn't have that. It was just amazing. And I took her to one side. I said, what you're doing is phenomenal. And I didn't offer her a job, but I was like, I didn't know anything about her, but I was that close to saying, would you like to work here in the academy? Because I think you'd be incredible. And she said, Mark, she said, that's such a lovely thing. And she said, I don't want to go on your healing list, because I only came here to learn how to heal because I've got 2 autistic children in Ireland. And I went, wow, I totally get it. I said, well, I hope what you've received in these 4 days have really made a difference and they can help your children. And she said, absolutely. She said she had the time of her life, which was great. So yeah, guess that's it really. I just wanted to share the beginning of a journey. So you know, whatever you feel within the Pure Energy Healing Academy 4-day course online, you'll find that everybody gets what they need. And it's so compact, it's so filled with 20 years of experience of the ups and downs of a healer and how to navigate through that. Like I said, I'm no perfect healer, but I am pretty good at seeing what other healers do and their mistakes and what my mistakes were, and try to implement that in the Pure Energy Healing course, so that what you get is 20 years experience in 4 days. So you're receiving all this information in 4 days. Every video, every hour video gives you a new perspective, a new understanding. And through the healing technique that you utilize in the Pure Energy Healing course, it's phenomenal because you experience the same energy as you would do here. It's incredible. So yeah, if you're meant to be a healer, a full-time healer, you will be. They say that only 1% end up full-time healers. The rest find their own path by doing other things. But the Pure Energy Healing Academy helped them achieve certain things where they were stuck. So for me, it's a beautiful course, and it really works well. And I don't really talk about it that much, and I should do, because it's phenomenal. When we first opened the Pure Energy Healing Academy, you know, we used to have literally every month at least 50 people who became Pure Energy healers. And it was beautiful. But for some reason, because I don't talk about it as much anymore, it's gone down to maybe a few a week. And we should, in theory, be having like 50, 100, 200 a week, because people need to learn to heal. And everything that I said to you about the journey of being a healer is exactly that, what you get in the Pure Energy Healing Academy, the 4-day course. You will experience magic. You'll experience magic through your own healing, through your clients, what they've felt afterwards. And it's all so easy. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need an IQ. You just need to feel. And you don't need to have experience in anything. In fact, the ones who were the most greatest healers were the ones who didn't really heal. They didn't know what they were doing. They came here with like, I don't know why I'm doing this. And then afterwards, it all made sense. So yeah, it's a beautiful course. It's worth every single penny. And the Pure Energy Healing Academy, it's a group of us, and we run that academy. I don't run it particularly. Everybody else does. Leila Satie and many others take care of it and take care of questions asked and all that. But it is beautiful. And I stand true in my word and say it's, in my humble opinion, it's one of the most beautiful, most powerful 4-day life transformational video online course, which gives you a certificate at the end of it. And that's it, really. I shall get back on with work. I'm wishing you all a lovely day. Thanks for joining me. Beautiful 80 people on today. Yes, shadow banned, absolutely shadow banned. I'm trying to be careful because I'm on strike 2, so I've only got 1 more strike left. And the other thing is as well, guys, when you become a healer, it's hard because you see through the bullshit. You see the lies because you work on energy, and people can talk and say nothing, but you can feel their energy. So you know that a lot of people are lying when you listen to these people online, and the politicians and the so-called do-gooders and so on. You just feel it. And that becomes a little bit of a struggle sometimes, knowing that, you know, others fall for the lies and the manipulations, and you are ostracized and mocked and ridiculed. And even when you are proven right, you're still mocked and ridiculed. And those very same people will do everything they can to support and protect those that cause them harm. And you scratch your head thinking, sometimes I wish I wasn't a healer. So I guess the reason why I make this is for you to think about it a little bit, because being a healer is a beautiful thing, amazing, but it's also, you have to go through certain things, and every day you have to go through them. And you go through things every day anyway, but at least you've got the tools to heal quicker. So the pain and suffering that I went through at 38 and before that age took me ages to heal. And then when I became a healer and started healing, I realized that any kind of issue and problem was healed very quickly. And that's a good thing. I don't think I could survive now if I had to go through the same pain as I did do before. And the fact that I'm healthy is brilliant. And I'm nearly 58 years old now, 58 years young. Not bad, eh? Not bad at all, I don't think. And I eat healthy, drink healthy. So there you go. Let's have some questions. Any questions? You're most welcome. I don't look at the comments because I can't chew chewing gum and walk at the same time. So I just try and share what I know, and then afterward, like now, I can look at the screen. So if you've got any questions. I don't know how much the course is. No idea. You'll have to ask. It used to be 800 for each course, but I don't know now. They changed the price. They have structures. They have all sorts. So I don't know, but I don't know anymore. I don't really get involved in that side of things. But if you were to come here to learn, it's normally 800 for 4 days. So somebody might be able to go online and have a look now how much it is. If you would, that would be great. Because sometimes there's offers on, sometimes there's brilliant offers on. So, just have a look. I do own a juicer. Yeah. Give me a second. Here's my juicer. Omega juicer. The company is called UK Juicers. They're fantastic. Anything goes wrong, they're brilliant. Brilliant. UK Juicers. So there you go. Yeah, answer the question. What does a do-gooder mean? What do you mean by do-gooder? Is it bad to be a do-gooder? You mean to be a healer, to be a kind and caring person? Depends if you force your do-gooding on people, I guess. If you don't force your stuff on people, then it's beautiful. I've no idea about nano trackers. I don't know what that means, but do I believe that all foods are now poisonous and poisoned? I do. I would rather have a mindset and a foundation and a grounding that all food has been poisoned by evil souls, the companies that have been poisoning our food from day one, and water. and therefore I look for farmers markets, and I won't eat anything from a supermarket ever again. And I'm very when I go to the supermarket, if I need certain things like toilet paper and stuff, I'm very careful what I'm choosing, and I spend most of my time trying to find places which are organic. It's slow. Getting on with a Moldavite book is slow. It's really slow because every time I turn a page and look at it, I have to change it again because things change now. Everything's changed. Since 4 years to now, everything's changed. So I can't use what I written 4 years ago because so much has changed. So it's like writing again, but I'm working on it. Thank you. Thanks for checking the website. I appreciate that. Maybe about cool. Just seeing if there's any. The course is currently 5.5, so it's not a bad price really. To be fair, and is that each course? And is there any discounted? Any discount if you take two of the courses together? Maybe not. I don't know, but I don't think that's bad. I know courses at $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and then nothing like ours. Mark, your oils are a blessing. Thank you. I use Golden Heart. Yeah, beautiful. Golden Heart. Yeah, it's really nice. Friday, and yes, because I was feeling sad today, I feel good. It does make a massive difference. Golden Heart has a beautiful energy in there, and Yasmin Absolute is fantastic. It really is a beautiful energy. What do you eat on a day? And what do I eat on a day? Vegetables. Do you want me to show you what I've made? Let me just show you. So that's all vegetables, steamed vegetables. So there's new potatoes, little ones, which were all from all organic, green beans, carrots, red peppers, one whole garlic used, portobello mushrooms, all organic, no pesticides, and all natural. Zucchini in there as well, and onions. So that's what I'd eat. I eat a lot of raw vegetables. I eat a lot of salads. I will try. Okay. You're most welcome. 550. Do crystals change each other in a crystal shop, or a person's intent do the charging? Do crystals charge each other? Crystals don't really charge each other per se. I guess maybe, I don't know really. It's a difficult one because when you put crystals together, they kind of amplify each other. Is that the same? Amplify, charge? I don't know. Charge. I think crystals are charged anyway. They just work alongside each other to create the frequency that they are. Whenever I put my crystals into either on this here, or in this. But then I've got a beautiful piece of Herkimer diamond, and I'll sit my crystals on that as well, and they just feel great. So I don't know, charge. What's the difference between charging and amplifying? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I just know one thing: they don't interfere with each other. They don't hurt each other. They have their own frequency. If anything, they complement each other. I don't think anybody can change right. Right, charging. What I used to say about charging is this: when you wear a crystal, right, it's charging you. When you're feeling happy and joyful, grab the crystal and put it back into the crystal. So you're charging it with the good energy that you have, but you do anyway. You don't need to do that, because if you're happy, you're charging it. But just holding it, that feeling, it's almost you're directing that energy through your body into your hand, which is the hand that gives it, blasts energy. So, you know, I've always got one hand like this, one hand here. So I'm receiving energy and giving it into the crystal when I do pure energy healing. So again, for me, the only charging that happens is good energy. I don't think nothing can lower the energy of a crystal. You can only add to it by memory. Yeah, good point. We do ruin everything. It has been cheaper than that before, because some people just had no money at all. So we brought it right down. But we had a lot of people who were not very nice and really being awful. And I'm like, what's the point? For me, I look back on my healing career, and I saved up for my courses. I saved up to learn things, and it was the best thing. If you give people it too easily, they won't learn it. They're not invested in it, and they sometimes get upset and angry. And it's like, no, I've invested in this course that I did, and I'm going to make the most of it. That's what I want when people come to the Pure Energy Healing Academy, not just to do it for the sake of doing it. Wow, amazing. Thanks for that. Yeah, and if it just comes into your life, or you read about it, then that maybe there's something in that as well. I like to go on 3. So when somebody shows me something, I show interest. You know, and then somebody else shows me, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll listen now. When somebody else shows me, right, I'm doing it. So I work on a 3 energy, but that's just me. Let's see, Chris. Marsit is one of my favorites, but Moldavite is fantastic as well. And they are very, very protecting crystals. That's very kind. Thank you so much. 800, that's 400. So that's not bad at all. 400 for each course. That's not bad. Honestly, ain't bad at all. Lucky to new healers. Bye. We dream of an organic future. It's in euros, I think. My website is in pounds, and I think the Pure Energy Healing is in euros. Me too. I have no idea. I have no clue. I've only listened to other people who talk about it, and they say they're all different, and some didn't even have anything in them. So I don't know. Hard to say. All right, guys. The feeling you get when you're in a crystal shop. Imagine being here all day long. I've got thousands of crystals in here. Yeah, it's incredible. That's why I often tell people just to go into a crystal shop to feel the energy. I'm currently wearing pink kunzite. Fabulous. What a great combination, Andre. What a great combination. Pink kunzite and moldavite. Yeah, I'm with you there. Definitely. I bring back memories for them two together for sure. All right, guys. Can someone put bad energy into crystals? I have never come across a crystal that has bad energy. I come across people that have bad energy, and sometimes I'm attuned to that person, and I'm thinking it's the crystal. But I've never held a crystal and thought, "Oh, that's awful." Whether a lot of the times people say it because they know who held it, and then they'll create that as well. I'm not saying you are, but I have up until this moment, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of crystals, and I have never picked one up and dropped it and said that's evil. That's filled with never. So all I can tell you is my experience. I believe that crystals hold a high frequency, and the only thing you can do to a crystal is give more memory of high frequency. It will accept more memory of high frequency, but low frequency cannot interfere with a crystal, cannot penetrate it. It is of the crystal energy. You can't change that. People say you can. Well, that's fine. I have a difference of opinion. Well, thank you so much. I'm now unemployed. I'm scared, but I'm feeling the support. We'll send you good vibes. Most welcome, Rose. Thank you. All right, guys. There you go. I think we're nearly finished now. What do you think of egg-shaped crystals? I think they're lovely. Any shaped crystals are lovely. I've got crystals in the corner here, which are pyramids, heart shapes. I keep them in all four corners. I'll just show you. I'll often swap them around, but here you go. So I got two shungites, and the reason why is because I want to keep the negative energy away. Here's shungite as well. This is a phone holder that I have right here next to me. Two shungites, and a nice piece of amethyst and rose quartz. So they're in all four corners. And I do that to create a kind of a frequency in the room. Plus, I've got other crystals all over the room, so it's a really strong energy. But I think it's a great thing to do. Whenever I did house cleansings, I'd always put crystals in four corners. And sometimes I'd bring a room crystal. It might be a celestine. It might be whatever it might be, and put it in the center of the house and focus on that energy there and create that energy in the house, which would help any trapped spirit move into the light, plus sage, plus prayers, plus certain music that I used to use, which was French Gregorian chants. And I'd walk around the house, cleansing the house. And I don't know whether you could call it good luck or not, because I worked really hard to clear spirit out of the house and I helped them move into the light. If they didn't go into the light and they weren't going, I would cleanse the house thoroughly, and never a problem thereafter. So it worked for me. That was the work I worked. But like I said, things have changed now. The frequencies change. People are becoming tired. People are not sleeping well. People are getting tinnitus. We live in a frequency and energy that's changed. We are no longer what we were 20 years ago. The energy has changed. It's not the same. We are struggling, mind, body, and spirit, to stay focused, to stay strong, to stay healthy. And I'm telling you guys, it's a war, it's a battle. And if you don't know you're in a battle, then good luck to you, because you're probably going to get sick if you're not observing and understanding what is happening right now. If you're going to your fruit store and vegetable, supermarket, which is a named company, corporation, good luck to you. Good luck, because all I'm seeing around me is people getting sicker and fatter and more just bad energy, and they're just exhausted, and it's like they're all walking time bombs. That's why I will not put anything in my mouth unless I know where it comes from. Won't do it. Won't gamble it anymore. But I'm not here to put fear into you. You do what you want. You want to trust in your corporations who couldn't give a shit about you, who put chemicals in there that shouldn't even be in there. You trust that, do you? You trust your government that allows them to put them on the shelves? You think they allow my products on the shelves? They'll do everything they can to shut me down because I'm natural. Can't be having that. We need to make the people sick. So, once you understand that, and once you walk into a supermarket and realize that everything on the shelf is poisoning you, is the day that you might wake up and start taking action. Oh, what do I do? Don't ask. Don't ask what you do. Go and find out. Go and study. Go and learn what to do. Start to take responsibility and start to, figure things out yourself rather than wanting somebody to figure it out for you. So, that's my truth anyway. Again, becoming a healer opens your eyes to everything. So I am wishing you a lovely day. Take care. Thanks for joining me today. Happy Sunday, is it? Don't know what day it is these days. I like it that way. All right. Love you all. Have a great day. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye for now.